Here's Prescott. Just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it! Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard. Oh, going deep. It is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today. And we have to discuss one of the more surprising players at Dallas Cowboys training camp on the defensive side of the ball. And that's Eric Scott Jr., the 6th round rookie cornerback that the Cowboys selected in this year's draft. And he's been really turning heads at training camp. And with that, given how deep this cornerback room is, he could possibly push someone off the roster that you might be already thinking of, or maybe you're not. So before we get any further into it, if you could do me a favor and hit the like button, that would be greatly appreciated, as it shows support for the channel, and on top of that, it fights against the YouTube algorithm. And then, if you could subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell as well, that'd be great, so you don't miss out on more Cowboys content as it comes out here. So look, Eric Scott Jr. was the 178th pick in the 6th round of the 2023 NFL Draft by the Cowboys, as well as him being a 25-year-old rookie. He turns 25 on August 7th, so right around the corner. But even with that being said, the guy's been fantastic at training camp. And I know, hey, it's training camp, it's a controlled environment, don't take everything super seriously, but the work ethic is there. And I think that that matters, because when you compare him to other guys at his position that are young or around the same age, he's showing a lot more promise than some of the other guys there, and you probably know who I'm talking about. Now, Dan Quinn has done a fantastic job of rebuilding the secondary with his input and basically just having the Cowboys throw darts and seeing if they can land bullseyes with these cornerbacks and safeties. And they've hit a bunch of bullseyes. You know, he wasn't here when we drafted Trevon Diggs, but still the Cowboys drafted Trevon Diggs. You added a guy like Deron Bland. You threw darts at guys like Kelvin Joseph and Nahshon Wright, Israel Mukuamu. And now, we bring up guys like Deron Bland, and you already had Jordan Lewis here. But then you add Eric Scott into the mix, and it's like, whoa, like the Cowboys all of a sudden have a deep cornerback room. And she's a far cry from what we remember, right? With the days of Morris Claiborne and Brandon Carr and such. Wow, like it's definitely been a massive turnaround. But we have to factor in how this room is being constructed, because we have to remember, Stefan Gilmore is a Cowboy. I still have to keep reminding myself of that, because it was such an underrated move that went under the radar for many NFL teams. And he has, 1 year remaining on his deal, but still, you look at how this cornerback room is getting constructed. So you have Trevon Diggs, then you have Gilmore, then you get to guys like the Jordan Lewises and the Deron Blands, and we're already at 4. Then who comes next? Like, is Israel Mukuamu going to be the safety corner hybrid, but do you keep playing him at corner? Because to me, I think he's a natural corner. So if we're going to just take him out of it, then you have Nahshon Wright, Kelvin Joseph, and Eric Scott, and, you got to think, like, you're not going to keep 7 cornerbacks. Like, if it were me, I think that if you're either Kelvin Joseph or Nahshon Wright, you're in some trouble. Because we haven't been hearing a lot of good stuff out of Kelvin Joseph. I heard he's been having a pretty rough camp, to say the least. But that's the problem, man. Like, you can't lose ground. And, yeah, he was taken with a 2nd-round pick, which typically the Dallas Cowboys, aside from the drafting, we know how that can be. One of the biggest things, too, is like there's a plot armor to that. Like, hey, we took you high in day 2, we need you to pan out kind of thing. But, like, I don't care about that. All I care about is, do you get performers, and I don't want a roster spot to be wasted on a dude that's not going to do well. In fact, Kelvin Joseph already had his chance, and, I'm all for seeing if this guy can really work himself back into it, but even at that, like, we're hearing he's getting reps at safety, but as for Izzy, we saw in the glimpses we did, he can be a really solid corner. Again, I'm not saying the dude's going to be a shutdown or anything like that. Not saying Eric Scott's going to be that or any of these young guys, but what I've been clamoring for is young playmakers that can help in the transition after these other dudes leave. Like, and here's what I'm talking about. Jordan Lewis is on the final year of his contract. And we were kind of thinking, okay, what's going to happen next? Like, we're going to have to draft a replacement most likely. And Deron Bland, you drafted him, he fell into your lap, and boom, you got a solid starter there. Now, Anthony Brown has left. You brought in the rental in Stefan Gilmore. Can Eric Scott be your cornerback 2 down the road? I mean, that's a lot of promise and a lot of expectations, but again, I'm just posing a question. I don't know. We'll see. But if the Cowboys can land another cheap cornerback 2 that's a solid starter, or maybe Deron Bland's cornerback 2, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is the Cowboys have built this room up so good. The fact that we're now having discussions of Kelvin Joseph and Nahshon Wright possibly getting kicked off the team because of performance. Oh, Space, that's nothing. X, Y, and Z. Bruh, like, we're talking about 4 other guys, possibly 5 in front of them, before you even get to those 2. And if it were me, Nahshon Wright has had moments in training camp, and he has shown he can be decent. Not like a starting caliber corner, from what I understand, but he can be a solid rotation guy. Kelvin Joseph just looks terrible, and I don't know what's the issue. I don't know if there's something going on, but I mean, there's other dudes that are playing with a lot of passion. And I'm not saying Kelvin Joseph isn't passionate about football. I'm not trying to insinuate that to you guys, but when you have other dudes that are coming in, they're trying to make a name for themselves, and you yourself, even as a second-round pick, even with all the crap going on outside of football, and you try to, you had an ample opportunity to be like, you know what, I can make a roster spot next year, and I don't have to worry about my future. You had that opportunity, and you wasted it. You look like a complete, you just look like burnt man toast, not boss man fat. And so, all jokes aside, I think that Eric Scott Jr. is going to start a lot of hard questions for the Cowboys come cut time, because unless Eric Scott falls off a freaking cliff, I don't see a way where he doesn't make the roster. And I think that if the Cowboys are serious, you're probably looking between Kelvin Joseph and Nahshon Wright for who gets cut. And it's not like a big cap hit. I think it's just like, if it were me, I think Kelvin Joseph's done. He hasn't shown any redeeming qualities to this point where, even, we'll have the preseason come along, but still, like, there's nothing there. So, we'll see how things go, guys. I'm very happy to report this information because, the more the merrier at the cornerback position, especially long-term, something that we're not thinking about because, of course, we understand the stakes of the season. But, yeah. Tell me what you guys think about Eric Scott Jr. down below in the comment section below. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe on the way out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.